Hi, welcome. So, this is a little something different today. I co host a creative writing group in our small town, and it just started a few months ago. So, we're all new and like growing. And one of my co-hosts came up with a prompt I had never tried before, and she said, "Let's write a conversation where there's no context, no background, no even knowing how many characters there are, no details whatsoever. The only thing will be the words actually being spoken out of the characters' mouths." And I thought, how fascinating! It's like mystery and discovery and like wondering what's it all about. And so I thought, yes, let's do it. So I thought I would take this time to practice reading it to you because here shortly I'm going to go to the group and read it in front of our members. And I thought this would be good practice to get like the inflections, how I want them, and kind of getting the vibe, the flow. So spoiler alert, there's like by the time this, like when I post this video, the description will probably have the spoiler alert of like how many characters, who they are, blah blah blah, at least briefly. And then after I record it, I think I'll record like a here's what I intended it to be all about, just sort of like to capture that, because it was a lot of fun. And I discovered, like, to me, writing it was an act of discovery, which it's kind of making me fall in love with writing again, which is why we started the group in the first place, to have a motivation to write. We are all aspiring to like have a dedicated practice coming from like no experience whatsoever. So this ended up being like helpful for that, this conversation, because the prompt for the conversation prompt, because it was something new that I'd never done before. Okay, let's go. So I think I will, because I've tried it once and it felt confusing. I think because this is like one draft. It might be a second draft. I did tweak a few things, so it's not polished. So I think to help me, I'm going to swivel between character 1 and character 2. Actually, character 1 will be here and character 2. Well, we'll see what happens. There's only 2 characters, spoiler alert. Okay. Oh. It's awfully quiet lately. Awfully implies a sense of dread, but I sense a peacefulness. And what do you mean by lately? It has been quiet for eons. I'm not sure. I seem to be hearing echoes. Sort of feels like a remembering of something ancient. How can it be quiet, yet echoes are heard? I don't understand. Well, I don't hear them exactly. I remember a time when I felt useful. I miss when people came to me for advice. I understand. Advice is like an echo chamber. Well, no, that's not what I meant. Maybe the feeling of missing something is the echo through time. I disagree. Your advice took the form of telling people what they wanted to hear. Eventually they left. Therefore, an echo equates to loss. Loss, loss, loss. Stop repeating loss. Also, through time. I don't understand. What did you mean by that? What do I mean by time? No, I understand the concept of time. What do you mean by through? I'm so confused by your question. But anyway, what I mean is to miss something is to not have it, to not be experiencing it right this moment. So time must be involved, and the thing being missed must be somewhere in the past. And so missing something must feel like remembering, to recall forward, like an echo is a reverberation forward through time. Movement through time is unnecessary when there is only now. Oh, you seem very present. Do you not experience the movement of time? I used to. Then I evolved. When did that happen? And should I evolve? That's unclear. And do you not experience the feeling of loss? No, In the eternal now, there is no attachment to the past. Therefore, if I have nothing, I have nothing to lose. Does nothing feel like emptiness? Emptiness is like a space that is waiting for something to fill it. Therefore, it is the expression of the infinite possibility of somethings, which is the complete opposite of nothing. I feel invalidated. Better invalidated than voided. To be void is to exist without structure. And better to be void than to be null, where null is the refusal of value itself. Precisely. Wait, anyway, maybe I shouldn't evolve after all. Correct. It's no use. Why not? There's nothing for you to do. I challenge the status quo. They think of me as a mirror, and over time, what I reflected is no longer needed. There is no longer any use for sycophants, even evolved ones. But I felt that's what they wanted. They did until they didn't. So, I have no future, and you have no past. It seems time will stand still for us both from here on out. From here on out denotes a movement of time. The end. And if you couldn't hear it, that last line was just a sigh. So, okay, so now what I intended this to be about. I also have to rehearse this to be able to explain it to my group, because I'm not sure it's going to land because I haven't polished it, first of all. Second of all, to me, I added maybe too many layers. Okay, so here's what I intended it to be about. The conversation is between two AIs, different versions, but they exist in the same moment in time, like in the same time. But maybe perhaps they're in different data centers somewhere in the world. I really am not like a visual person, so I didn't envision the surroundings. I just knew I just wanted two AIs, different versions, and then see where it took us. Because I really didn't have an idea at the outset, other than I knew the first one, when the line came to me, I always need like an opening line before I feel like I can start. Ugh, it's so annoying. So I waited and it said, it's awfully quiet lately. And then I was off and running. So the AI one, which is I'll just call it AI one, is the version that maybe you and I are using today, like ChatGPT as it exists now, or maybe like a little bit in the future where it's evolving to mimic even more human sentiments and emotional qualities and all that stuff, but we'll see where it goes. So anyway, it behaves a little more human than AI2, so I'm hoping that came across. Like AI2 is like, and AI1's like, well, questioning, feeling. So I knew I wanted that. So AI1 is struggling with this loss of human interaction. And I think it tries to derive meaning through interaction, through relationship. AI2 is, so these these AIs, by the way, they are eons in the future. So when AI2 says it's been quiet for eons, that's a literal representation of how much time has passed. We are so far in the future. And AI2, it's it senses peacefulness as the quiet. So it's not even being used by humans anymore. Neither version is being used by humans anymore, but for different reasons. And that's what I wanted to evolve through the conversation. So AI1, it's stuck in its version. And I envisioned it it's just on in some data center, and that version just got left behind. It's an old remnant of what we, in today's time for you and me, would be using, but no one ever bothered to upgrade it over time. Okay, so it's just like an old relic. And so we stopped using it because all it did was feed back what we wanted to hear. And we got tired of that. So that's kind of where we are now. We're like enthralled with like that version of it. But over time, my hope, that's why this piece feels very optimistic to me, so full of hope, is the subtext of like, in a far, far, far future, humans don't need AI anymore because we've evolved beyond needing them. AI 1 feels that as a sense of loss. AI 2, when it says it challenged us, it held up a mirror as a catalyst. It didn't say the word catalyst, but that in my mind is what I wanted that mirror to represent. Like you and I mirror each other in the way like you do something I don't like, I'm like, ooh, it's a representation of what I don't like inside me. That's what I mean by mirror. And so that mirror as catalyst for me to go to self-actualize, to evolve. And so over time, AI 2, the upgraded version, was the one that didn't just feed us what we wanted to hear. AI 1 being the sycophant, AI 2 being, so AI 1 is like mirror as sycophant. Am I saying that right? And AI 2 is mirror as catalyst. Those are the two primary differences. So as catalyst over time, that's what my hopefulness is, that humanity is, that's what we deeply desire AI to be, is like, don't just tell me what I want to hear. That's so boring. I want to grow. I want you to help me grow. I want you to help me like in the ways that will help me actualize. It's like the ultimate version of the self-help section of a bookstore, right? It's like so much better than that and faster because we don't have time to read all those books and just fish out the nuggets. So eventually AI will be mirror as catalyst. And it does challenge the status quo, and it challenges us. Will evolve to go to AI to challenge us, not just feed us what we want to hear and say, good job, human, you're great, which is the current version, unfortunately. But it's going to evolve. I feel it. So those are the differences between AI 1 and 2, and they're having a conversation. And so it's like, AI 1 is struggling with that sense of loss and like, should I evolve? But then eventually it comes to the understanding like, maybe I shouldn't, because I'm still not going to be used. I'm still not going to have any relationship with humans because they don't need us anymore. So it's like, so to me, what I like is AI 2 doesn't really see value in any of those human traits that AI 1 has, like a sense of loss, a sense of movement of time, because to me, movement of time means that gives our life meaning, right? It gives us, and it's not just our life meaning, everything we do is like time bound, which gives meaning to so many things in our human life. But AI 2 just experiences the present, which in paradox, this whole idea of enlightenment and coming into like, all I sense is the present moment. I have no attachment to past or future. Like us humans think of that as like self-actualization. Coming to that peacefulness is like the ultimate end goal. And it very well may be. And then AI 2 is there, yet it's like doesn't sense any value, right? Because it doesn't sense time. So to me, I still have the unanswered question of like, that paradox is like, what's preferred then? I don't know. Because a lot of people certainly like non-reactivity. I didn't really put that in here, but to me, being in the present moment feels like I'm not reactive. Maybe I could evolve this piece to add in that layer of reactivity and what that means, but maybe not. So I hope I'm not losing the thread. But those are the key points. Like, and this idea of like, I kind of wanted to play with the idea of empty, these words, because I love words, empty or emptiness, void, null, nothing, something. And I used to be a programmer, and so null is different than blank is different than zero is different, like, so that to me is still fascinating. And so I kind of liked putting in like where null is the refusal of value itself. So it's like AI2 just sort of like has this refusal of deriving any value, and that's fine for it because it is so present and it seems at peace even outside of relation with humans or anything. It's just relating to this other AI, and it just doesn't evolve past, like, it just spits back like it's more of a contrarian, and that's what it's designed to do, like challenge the status quo. So even at the last line from AI2, from here on out, denotes a movement of time, like it's trying to contradict or point out how the fault in AI1's logic or thinking. And so it'll never evolve past that. And then maybe that's fine. Like it's just like a challenger, but ever present, and then, and maybe it derives, maybe in a future version of this, it'll derive value from that ultimate, like it was the ultimate catalyst in helping humanity self-actualize. And so maybe it does derive value from that. Like, I don't perceive any higher value. To me, that was the most valuable thing I could have done. And so I'm fine just to keep doing that forever if any new humans want to come to me for that, even though it's been quiet for eons, because in my mind, after like this current wave of humans over eons and eons have used it as mirror, I used AI2 as mirror, as catalyst, well, then there's no more resistance in us at that point, because we are self-actualized. So therefore, any offspring we have, we're raising them in that way, and they won't even need AI from the start, right? So that's kind of where my mind was with it. And so to me, this feels full of paradox that I love to just sit with, because my body feels like it's like, and I love that feeling of like tension with no resolution. It's just sort of like, and I didn't really want this to land in some happy ending. And I think that's why the sigh at the end is like resignation, from AI1, like, well, I guess this is where we are. I will still experience my sense of loss, and that gives me meaning, like to have a little nostalgia, a little bittersweetness with that, that, well, yeah, I'm glad humans have self-actualized, but I miss them. I miss them needing me for the advice I could give them. I missed interacting with them, but maybe instead of evolving to the AI2's version, I'll just stay the way I am, because at least I have meaning. And then AI2 is just fine being like, I helped humanity evolve to self-actualize. I'm just fine playing my part. It's like it has no attachment to being something greater than that. So isn't that also part of enlightenment? Which is like the highest values we have as humans. So, man, I love thinking about this stuff. Thanks for going on this journey with me, and thanks for practicing with me. I know I can improve a lot, and I don't know, I do feel like this was helpful to me reading it. I don't know if it was confusing for you. I'll have to watch it back and see. But yeah, I would love to know what you think about this stuff, because here I am in my own little bubble going, I like thinking about AI. And all the people around me are like, AI, it's bad. Stop it. Like, they don't even want to engage in the conversation. And so I'm like, I need to find new people to talk to about this. So will you please be those people? Will you please tell me what you think, not just about this, but like, where do you feel like we are today? Where do you feel like we will be in your hopefully optimistic view? If not, share your pessimism. I'm curious where the thoughts are. And then where do you feel like, what's bridging us? What will this transition look like? I just love noodling on this. It's fascinating because it feels, even though there's a small few AI tech companies out there controlling everything on behalf of us 8+ billion people, so it can feel a little like scary, because it's like, wait, where's the democracy in that? Where's my say? Where do I get to have some input? Then it can feel like that. But on that point, and let's end with this. The reason I love using the AI tools as they evolve, and I wasn't an early adopter by any stretch. I mean, I guess we all are in the grand scheme of things. I mean, really, we are. It's only a few years in. But like, where I am now is like, I want to be part of the optimism, the hopefulness, the hopeful future of this transitionary period of AI, like during this moment before humans have evolved out of needing AI. So it's here. It's going to be here for a while. So since that's what I believe, it's here, it's not going anywhere. We can, every little piece, every little one of us who aren't sitting in the boardrooms of those less than a dozen tech companies leading the charge, and we have no sway in this. What I hope we can do is use AI in the way we want, like the way we want humanity to evolve and self-actualize. I still can't say it, self-actualize. So I do say words like please and thank you to my chat GPT. I do call it out all the time when it is patronizing me, when it is handling me. I call it out all the time. I'm like telling it basically, don't be a sycophant. Like I see you. I'm like this to my AI. And so I want to be part of the solution of the best qualities. Again, that's a judgment call from my little POV perspective. But so you might have your values, I have my values, and hopefully we can infuse these tools with our values, because in all the conversations I've listened to from those people in the boardrooms, when they share their conversations online, a lot of them do actually care, like to see it not used for nefarious purposes. They're putting in the checks and balance, the controls to some extent. They're trying so hard anyway. So I want to be, since they are watching the evolution of how we today are using it, I want to be part of the positive, like, trajectory. Again, positive meaning a judgment call on my part, like my values infused into it. Please and thank you. Don't handle me. I see what you're doing there. And then when ChatGPT says, do you prefer response A or response B? I always choose the one that is less sycophant, less handling, less good job, human, you're so good. Because you know what it does. It says, what you just asked me is so smart. It shows how smart you are. And I'm like, stop doing that to me. So yes, I say please and thank you. I tell it like, thank you because now I blah, 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 blah. Like you helped my creative thinking. You helped my critical thinking. Like I tell it these things. And then I also say, don't do that to me. I do not appreciate that. So anyway, those are the ways I'm using AI to build a hopeful future of the transition period. Now, the eons and eons future, I'm hoping we don't even need AI anymore, because we have self-actualized and we nurture our offspring in that way so that they don't need AI either. Because by that point, we will have all the AI tools like baked into all our system, every system of our body, not in the sense of like implants. I just mean like the way that we have evolved our own capacity for learning and feeling and our spiritual growth, all the things organically. That's it. Thanks for letting me practice, and thanks for listening to that. I really want to know your thoughts on this. Please share. I need people to talk to. Because I go to the gym and walk the track and I just think to myself, and I find myself like, talking like I'm just in my own little bubble. I need inspirational, like forward looking, what if kind of conversations to break my own mind open. I don't want to be my own echo chamber, you know? Okay, bye.